Hey guys, Sal's here with SS Multimedia. Today we're going to be talking about patterns for facts and multiplication. So our objective for today will be I can use and understand skip counting in order to find the rule of a pattern. I can also understand patterns and elongate them if needed. So the three main parts of today's lesson will be understanding skip counting, finding the rule of a pattern, and understanding patterns and elongating them. Okay? So this will be first part, this will be the second part, and this will be the third part of today's lesson. Let's get started. Alright guys, let's start with skip counting. So the main part of skip counting will be counting versus skip counting. What are the differences? Okay, why is skip counting called skip counting? And why it couldn't be called anything else, and what is the difference between counting and skip counting. So let's get started. So we'll call this counting, we'll label it as C, we'll label it as SC. Okay, so now let's figure out what is counting. Counting would be, as I'm sure you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Right? Keeps going on. Now skip counting uses, especially if you're using multiplication, it's multiples, right? So if we're using, let's say we use 2, right? What's a multiple of 2? Would be 2. The next multiple of 2 would be 4. Next multiple of 2 would be 6. Then 8. Then 10, etc. Right? Now what are multiples? Now we're going to show you that in multiplication. So 2 times 1 equals 2. So 2 is a multiple. Okay? 2 times 2 equals 4. So 4 would also be a multiple. So those are there. Let's use 10. Okay, 2 times 5 equals 10. So 10 is a multiple of 2. All of these are 2 times something. Okay, and this is the product. So if you have 2 times anything, okay, anything, any whole number there, the product is a multiple of 2, okay? And if that number is 3, it's also a multiple of 3, okay? So there you go. That was what a multiple is. So the skip counting, now we're going to get into why is it called skip counting? Why could it not be called multiple counting, right? Because it's basically just multiples, right? The reason for that is because you're skipping whole numbers while you're counting, right? So if you count with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., right? So now let's see, are we skipping any whole numbers? After 1 comes 2, to 2 comes 3, to 3 comes 4, to 4 comes 5. So we're not skipping any numbers here. Okay, now are we skipping here? So now we're starting with 2. 2, after 2 comes, so now we have to just do this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right, so after 2 comes 3. There's nothing there. After 4 comes 5, nothing there. After 6 comes 7, nothing there. After 8 comes 9, there's nothing there. Right, so that's why it's called skip counting, because you're skipping whole numbers. Right, 3 is a whole number, so you're skipping something. And now some could argue, hey, but we're skipping 1.5 while we're going here, right? So isn't this also skip counting? No, because when you skip counting, you have to be skipping a whole number, right? Not a fraction. It has to be a whole number. Okay? So this is why it's called skip counting, and I'm hoping that after this you should know the difference between skip counting and just regular counting. Okay. Alright, so next we're going to be talking about the rule of a pattern. Okay, so first we have to figure out what is a rule of a pattern in the first place. Okay, so let's go with our first pattern that we had in the beginning. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so what is the rule of this? Okay, the rule is how much it takes for one number to get to the other. So what I mean by that is for 2 to get to 4, you have to add 2, right? Because 2 plus 2 equals 4. And only 2 plus 2. It can't be 2 plus 5 equals 4. That's not how it works, right? So this has to be 2 plus 2 equals 4. So plus 2 to get to 4. 4 plus 2 equals 6. 6 plus 2 equals 8. You see where I'm going with this, right? So this is the rule. Okay, how much it takes from x to get to y. X, which is a whole number, to get to y. To get to y, which is the next whole number. Okay? Whole number. Okay? So whatever that number is, so from 2 to get to 4, so let's imagine 2 is x and 4 is y. So it takes 2 for x to get to y. That means the rule of this pattern would be plus 2. This is the rule. Now say we have to double check. So how much does it take? So now let's go here. Let's imagine now 8 is x and 10 is y. If it takes 2 from 8 to get to 10, that means the rule is still plus 2. So the rule for this pattern is plus 2. Okay, so now knowing the rule, we can elongate the pattern. And if you remember, that was the other part of our objective. We have to elongate the pattern, right? So let's go here. How do we get that? So from now, we know x. So let's see, 10 is x, right? We know how much it takes to get to y. We don't know what y is, right? So this is 2. So basically, the question here is 10 plus 2. So let's do that. 10 plus 2. 1. Our answer here is 12. So that means y equals 12. So the next number in this pattern would be 12. And you can check by knowing that it takes 2 to get to 12. Alright, so now let's check. Let's make sure we got everything. We now understand skip counting. And we can find the rule of a pattern. And while doing both of these, you should understand patterns. And in the second part of the lesson, we learned how to elongate them. Okay, so now it looks like our lesson is done. It's problem time. Okay, so now we have to figure out. Let's use any imaginary problem here. Okay, I want you to elongate this pattern. 3, 6, 9, and 12. Okay, what is the next number in this pattern? Okay, so now I want you to pause the video and take a second to figure it out by yourself. Use a sheet of paper or whatever you can and try and figure it out. Alright, so I'm guessing you've paused the video and that you've tried to figure it out. Now we're going to check your answer. Now remember, the first step to finding what this is, let's call this, let's just use it as a question mark, that's our variable there. We have to figure that out. We have to figure out the rule of the pattern. So now let's figure out what is the rule. So as you remember, it's how much does it take for x to get to y. So let's figure that out. How much does it take for 3 to get to 6? How do we do that? Subtraction. 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 equals 3. And to double check that, we know 3 plus 3 equals 6. So it looks like it's plus 3 to get to 6. Let's check that again. Does it take plus 3 to get to 6, get to 9? Let's check. 6 plus 3 equals 9. So yeah, looks like it does. So it looks like the rule we have here is plus 3. So now how do we figure out what this is? We do 12 plus 3 because the next number will be plus 3 of 12. Okay, so let's figure this out. What we're going to be doing here is 12 plus 3. 12 plus 3 equals 15. Okay, so it looks like 15 is the next number in the pattern. Alright folks, thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Keep an eye out for the next videos to come.